at a remote campsite that we just rode to that you can't access from a vehicle. And we've been doing a test of the Puckipuppy all-wheel drive full suspension bike. And look at this amazing campsite that we just rode up to, and me on the old cheap bike. So, the Puckipuppy. Well, this one is the full suspension bike, and this one is the dual drive. So we have the rear motor and the front motor. And so basically we have an all-wheel drive e-bike here. And up on the controls, see we have single drive and dual drive. So single drive is rear wheel only. Dual drive is front and rear. And I don't recall off the top of my head what the power numbers were, but I think it's 1100 total with both of them engaged, up to 1600 peak with both of them. Fixed non-adjustable rear shock, adjustable front shock. Has a mount on the front for putting a basket on it. We do have our rear rack on in place, although we don't have any saddlebags on. Comes with a very wide and cushy seat, which feels a little unusual for kind of a mountain bike. We have our control up front, so raise and lower our pedal assist levels, turn on and off, turn on the front light, as well as a pretty nice digital display. You can see currently we're on level 5 of pedal assist, mile per hour. We just got this thing, so we only have 26 miles total on it and 4 hours, 20 minutes ride time. Standard shifter, only rear shifter, no front derailleur, only rear derailleur. Shimano Altus. Everything works really nice on it. Here's your motor controller. Here's the battery built into the bottom. Has a key and a release. Coming around to the front, there's a little front headlight, which does make a nice spotlight at night. So, and we have the fenders on it. Front and rear rack. Like I said, we have a front cargo rack we don't have installed. That's better for around town. And we did get this with the optional accessory kit that was $100 extra. And in that, you got the front rack and some other stuff. But more importantly, you got an extra battery. And $100 for an extra 20 amp hour battery is a bargain. Even the cheapest cheap battery, this is supposed to be a 20 amp hour battery that I ordered off of AliExpress, was more than $100. So if you're looking to buy one of these, definitely worth getting an extra battery for $100. All right, so that's basically the quick overview of this bike. And now I'm gonna let the actual rider give a little review of what it's like riding it up over the rough trail that we had to ride to get here.
Yeah. So this new bike, it was a Father's Day gift. First time I've ever really gotten something so nice, new, and fancy. We had played around with rear wheel drive, and it works pretty good, but I thought I wanted to try this all wheel drive. So coming up here this morning, first of all, I will say I'm down to 4 bars out of 6. And that's after riding about 20 miles up some abandoned railroad tracks yesterday, and then a few miles up some really steep stuff here this morning. So I'm getting some good battery life out of it. So I usually just go in rear wheel drive, but when I put it to double drive here, we were coming up some extremely rough, really steep road with just a lot of small ball bearing size rocks. And the single drives will just spin out on that, but I was able to climb and climb. About the only time I kind of got thrown off was when I was bouncing so hard my feet came off the pedals and I had to stop and get off. The one thing I will say about this that is makes it a little harder for me is this upper bar. This is a large frame. I mean, it's not made to be a large frame, but it turns out being large because of the big tires. It's really high up the ground. So the standover height here is a little bit hard for me. They don't make the step-through version does not come in dual motor. So I had to buy the upper bar version. So, you know, if you're short like me, that can be a little bit of a challenge. But I'll work with it because I get the the dual motor version. So runs along nicely. The pedal assist works really good. You can adjust the pedal assist from 1 to 5 on the assist level, and that means when you pedal on 5, it'll give you a whole lot more energy to help you get up. So I've been running around with it on 5, so it works very well. Boy, it runs down the road, you know, at 20 miles an hour really easily, and I think it's got a max something like 28 maybe.
Yeah, so you know, this comes with the controller all pre-configured for our US e-bike rules, and limits you out to I think it was 28. There actually is a hidden menu you can go in, because we are currently outside of the United States where those rules don't apply, and we can raise the speed limit up. And our testing outside of the United States shows that with the speed limit removed, you can hit about 30 miles an hour flat out on a paved road. So it is possible. There's a little hidden menu, and maybe I'll make a video about it. You can go into here and you can change that maximum speed setting so you're not restricted.
Yep. Yeah, it's rare you ever really need to go that fast on a bicycle like this, but it's available. And this big fat seat, I never would have bought a big fat seat for a bicycle, but I gotta admit, it is really comfy. Yeah, it's a very comfortable seat.
Seat does seem more like an around town cruiser type seat. Feels a little incongruous on a camouflaged full suspension all-wheel drive e-bike.
And I've never had a kickstand on a bike before. I gotta admit, it really is handy. And on a bike like this, you're not trying to go for a low weight bike. It's already a heavy bike, so put a kickstand, the kickstand on it, and it makes it just really handy.
It is convenient, and I think the bike weighed in at 94 pounds or something about like that, so it is not light. It's heavy to manhandle and push up a hill if you have to push it up. So not a light bike. If you're going for lightweight, it's not the bike for you.
But it's got plenty of power to move the weight, so it's mostly just when you're trying to pick it up and move it around, it's you'll get your exercise.
And in general, the comments about, you know, the dual drive, it may seem excessive, but we're also going on some rough roads and everything where it does make a difference. It does help you. You know, around town, you're not going to really notice dual drive, but if you're climbing steep trails like this, the dual drive does make a difference. And to illustrate the point, I have my inexpensive converted fat tire bike with a front drive. And this is really great around town, everything. But as soon as I start climbing, every time my tire bounces up, my tire starts to spin and I start losing traction and I lose my ability to steer. So when I'm really climbing something steep, I can't use the e-bike as much, and I gotta pedal more and more and more to make up for it. Now, we also have another cheap e-bike that's a rear drive, and it does better climbing. So if you had to pick just one or the other for converting a bike or one that you buy, the rear drive is better for climbing up hills. Because this bike has a through axle, I can't put a rear drive on it. Now, where the all-wheel drive really comes in handy is when you're climbing and you've got your rear motor driving and you hit a big rock on the front. That all-wheel drive helps you pull up over a rock instead of just kind of hitting it and having your handlebars trying to turn on you and everything. It gives you that front wheel. It keeps your front wheel steering when you're bouncing up over stuff instead of kind of hitting it and it trying to force you to the side. So where the all-wheel drive really feels like it shines is when you're, one, going up steep, loose, but also you're hitting a lot of rocks that are trying to send your handlebars, you know, going all over the place. And we kind of all know what that's like when it's like, oh crap, I'm going to hit this rock and it's going to try to throw me off or, you know, cause me to veer to the right. So if you're going to do this and you want to get out into the backwoods where you're going to have some rough terrain to go over and not manicured trails and not just nice dirt, but you're getting into loose and rocky and steep, the all-wheel drive absolutely makes a difference. It's a total game changer and really allows you to get to someplace remote a lot easier than in any other bike.
So I guess something I would add about it is overall, I feel like with the Puckipuppy you get a lot for your money. It's not as expensive as others, and it just seems like you get a lot of features for your money. And so far, we haven't had it very long time, but the quality seems to be good enough for my purposes, and the price point was a lot better than most others. So,
yep, you really do seem to get a lot for your money with this brand. The price point they come in with is just better than just about anything else I could find out there on the market. So
I'm kind of looking forward to setting up, getting my saddlebags on, water bottle cage, of course, and things to where I could actually take it out remote camping and get up to some nice places and be able to get this up where we can get away from people to go camping out in the wilderness.
alrighty, well, that's the Puckipuppy. We're enjoying it so far, and we'll keep riding it and checking it out. But so far, it's been absolutely great and fun to take out. Alrighty, thanks for watching, and have a nice day. Blondie.